Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the quarantine episodes of Openly Beta.
This is a very special quarantine episode of Sandbox.
Yeah, for some reason we haven't made any.
That we're going to make a lot more now. Well, I say a lot more. Depends on how long quarantine goes on for.
Almost certainly years.
So
I mean, this is extremely easy to make, and we've got nothing else to do. So I don't know why we haven't been doing this every day.
Well, Jack's working from home.
I am.
I don't. So I think to say that Jack has nothing to do, I think he understandably does actually have things on.
I've been pretty busy.
Have no excuses.
Jamie's in the furlough gang. We've got all the quarantine experience you need right now.
Furlough gang.
Furlough gang, rise up.
We started this particular episode of Sandbox, episode 18,
Ooh.
off to a very bad start. Because I'd like to just say that this episode, we're going to try and keep it more formatted. I want to go for extremely professional. Because if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that our setups are soundproofed. We take professionalism very seriously with our setups.
People come to expect professionalism from Openly Beta.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really need to be said. It's kind of obvious.
No, it is.
From the production value.
Everyone knows at this point.
So, this is the first one that I'm gonna be sticking to a very strict.
Get right into it.
Yeah. So, the first thing we're going to do on this episode,
Jamie,
we're going to crack open a beverage.
What are you drinking?
You said that in the exact same way as you
the
do
first time
on the video. Like, seriously, that was perfect, pitch perfect.
It's become my catchphrase.
If you're an Openly Beta veteran, you'll understand what we're talking about. So, on this podcast, we lapsed for a bit, but we're going to be bringing this back now. We're going to be talking about a drink that we're going to be consuming during the duration of this podcast. I'm going first.
Yep.
Because
I can see what it is.
It's the same colour as my shirt. So.
It's not what I thought.
This is what I'm drinking. Do you think it was a Budweiser? What did you think it was?
I did think it was a Budweiser. I thought you could only get your hands on Budweiser.
Okay. No, I've actually gotten a beer that's quite hard to come across because I get a crate of beers delivered to me every 12 weeks. So this looks delicious. I've been saving this one for the podcast. I've been wanting to drink it for ages. So this one's called St. Petersburg Imperial Russian Stout. For those of you listening through without their eyes, it's red. So
it's red like a Budweiser.
It's red like a Budweiser. Should we get some of that pouring audio in there?
Oh, you need that ASMR.
You headphone users.
While you're pouring, should I be introducing mine?
Yeah, go on then.
I've got Birra Moretti.
Very nice.
It's like a beige colour. It's got a strapping greenman drinking a beer. 10 for charm, this one. How's your smelling, Jamie?
Oh, this beer's it's 7.4%. My one.
Jeez. No beers came in that. What's mine? What's a Birra Moretti? 4.6. That's higher than I thought. And since this is a working from home podcast, I'm going to put my beer on my PlayStation coaster.
Oh no, I had an Openly Beta coaster here the other day. I think I put it somewhere else.
If you bump into us at a Comic-Con, you may get the chance to win a Openly Beta coaster. So Jamie, what's the taste of your St. Petersburg like?
So, as it is, it's an Imperial Russian Stout.
Yeah.
So
It sounds manly.
we know what stouts are: dark and brutal. Imperial Russians are basically high percentage alcohol percentage stouts, and it's just like a grizzly bear in a glass.
It's strong, dark, and brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie likes his beer like he likes his men.
Extremely dark. Tell me, Jack, what about your drink?
Beer Moretti. It's extremely easy to drink.
I want to start with Fallout 76 Wastelanders. So
Really?
It's a free expansion, and it has it is also just released on Steam for like £35. It's a reduced cost to what it used to be. And what do you think about Fallout 76, Jack? When I talk about Fallout 76 in the year 2020, what are you thinking?
When you say the words Fallout 76, what's the first thing that comes to my head? Well, I haven't heard anything about Fallout 76 since it came out, and it was an absolute disaster. Yes. And I'm surprised they're even bothering to do things with it. But I'm impressed that the DLC is free and that they're not charging £35 a month for the DLC.
So I don't know much about the exact contents of this DLC, but I do know the headline is that they've added NPCs to the game. So
I don't know the content of Fallout 76 base
I think
game.
The developers don't know the content either. I think that's kind of the point.
A canvas bag.
Yeah. But this isn't time to talk about Fallout 76 because we've done that in detail before. This is time to talk about the trailer for Wastelanders that they released.
Which I am now watching.
I am less than impressed with the creation engine in 2020, right? I didn't know this.
Were you impressed with it in 2012?
I didn't. But in 2012, my excitement for Skyrim and Fallout 3
Fallout games,
took over, and it when the Fallout 4 trailer, the music, and just the Fallout returning in general, and also the fact that the game did look better than Fallout 3, so it's kind of like, oh cool, look what they've done. You don't compare it. Well, I didn't compare it to any other game. I just compared it to the last Fallout. When you see this, especially because it's all about the NPCs, they are hideous. Like
they are weird looking.
Do you agree with me when I say their mouths move? They kind of look like puppets.
I mean, mouths are hard to get right because there's so many muscles moving around there, and they did not get it down.
This is properly bad, though.
Yeah, they've very I'm replaying. So there's two specific NPCs which stand out: the black guy with a giant forehead and the woman looking angry near the end. I mean, it's a very brief clip, but his mouth moves. Bad. It moves very unnaturally, even for a digitally animated character in a video game. And the woman's angry face.
I think the woman's angry face is the one that seared into my head, actually.
Yeah, it's quite unimpressive, and also her head looks kind of too small and like it's far too far to the right than it is. But, I mean, this sounds very nitpicky, but it's more than that. These are just kind of the little details that look terrible because they're the sort of little things you need to get right, otherwise they incredibly stand out.
I think it's just the audacity of Bethesda
releasing this.
For thinking that people would want this, for making a big deal out of it, but more importantly, for them not acknowledging what happened to the game. If they'd come out and said, because they're kind of doing it, the fact that it's free, they're kind of going like, hey, but really they should be saying, hey, all right,
sorry,
we messed up.
I'm getting No Man's Sky vibes.
So many levels. It wasn't even just the game; it was everything around the game.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing we say about. Sorry, you go first.
That was it.
No, I was just going to say we say about the engine and stuff when Skyrim and Fallout 3 and whatever else came out, but I feel like it didn't matter then because the games were fun and they worked enough. The glitches kind of just were either funny or dumb. They were never really game breaking or like offensive. But I mean, Fallout 76 is just a whole nother level. And there was a lot of real world stuff to go along with it.
You look at the reason why you accept it is because it does stuff that no other game does. That was why you accept the bugs, because it was like, well, yeah, okay, this creature just, I don't know. Oh, this NPC that I need to talk to has, for some reason, dropped his gun and it's flung into space and he can't move now. But you kind of go, yeah, but I can do all this other stuff, and it makes up for that.
Yeah, I do hate it when the Skyrim NPCs drop their guns.
Yeah, same. It ruins the immersion when you realise they have guns on them.
They should keep them hidden. I feel like the like to dislike ratio says a fair bit. It's got 13,000 likes and 7,000 dislikes.
Well,
which is better than I expected.
That
but,
better than I expected too. In fairness,
it's about what is that? It's about a third dislikes.
So I don't actually want to dwell too much on Fallout 76.
Yeah, there's a bit of DLC for you, viewers at home.
They had a leaked roadmap which detailed multiple expansions, so they're not done. But this will tie into a game that I'm going to talk about later.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
They should stop. I think they're under the illusion that this is another one of those games that you can fix with updates, like No Man's Sky. You can. It started off rocky, but I don't think it wasn't because the game was inherently what they gave you wasn't inherently bad. It just wasn't a full package, I think, with No Man's Sky. Whereas with Fallout 76...
Yeah, and I mean, obviously so much of No Man's Sky was just the sheer lies.
Yeah. But the actual... Yeah. The game wasn't broken, to my knowledge, whereas Fallout 76 is incredibly broken.
I think I do remember there being a fair amount of bugs with No Man's Sky, but that was probably more, as we were saying, the Skyrim level of bugs where they're excusable, rather than the Fallout 76 level of bugs where it was nigh unplayable.
I just think that they need to, if they're going to do this whole expansion roadmap, they need to say, okay, we're going to have to almost remake the game. Because the idea of Fallout 76 obviously really exciting and fun. People want it. I wanted it. I was really excited for that.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I feel like it's kind of like Elder Scrolls Online, where I don't know. I guess they're not very comparable. Elder Scrolls Online is, a lot of people love that game, but I think it's the same sort of thing where a lot of people were pretty disappointed on that on launch.
Well,
and
I've got a better comparison. I'm gonna bring up the better comparison for you. So spoilers. We're going to be talking about this a little bit later. Final Fantasy 14.
Okay.
It released as Final Fantasy 14, and it was massively panned by critics. It was a bad game, like bad.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, "Oh, throw this expansion at it," and there's not, ignore what people are saying, it's blah, 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 they full on said, "All right, we're sorry," and they actually remade it. So they remade the game. I'll tell you how much they remade it. They actually baked it in to the story. So at the beginning of Final Fantasy 17: A Realm Reborn, which is now called, they have a cutscene which shows the world being destroyed, and then the whole story starts with how this world has been reborn, so they're basically making the game being remade as canon in the world.
That is actually brilliant. I love that a lot.
So And
you've got to go all in with stuff like that.
And now it's considered one of the best Final Fantasy games ever, and also one of, probably this time right now it's probably the best MMO, which is what a turnaround. It's
people aren't going to be saying that about Fallout 76 anytime soon.
They can't just add stuff to it. It's crap.
Well, yeah, it's like if the base thing's broken, adding stuff isn't going to do anything.
Right, moving on. We're going to talk about
that was Fallout 76.
The PlayStation 5 controller reveal. It's called the DualSense.
Yes.
Tell me what you think about the PlayStation 5.
DualSense sounds like something you'd hear on like a shopping channel late at night.
Ooh, does a bit, doesn't it?
It's like a massage thing that you put in your back. We have different opinions on the PlayStation 5 controller that we've already discussed, and now we're going to record them on camera for the record. You go first.
I think that the DualSense 5 is a little bit tacky looking. It looks like a Mad Catz off-brand controller. It undoubtedly, when you actually have it in your hands, it's going to feel like a awesome, premium, amazing product. But purely from the pictures, so I do think that once you've actually held it, your mind will change and it'll be like, oh, this is awesome. Because I think that's how it goes. But it looks...
Yeah, you said this about the PS4, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought the DualShock 4 looked a bit like a weird looking controller, and you touch it and it's like, oh, this is actually like elegant and really well made and nice. I think if we're talking purely the aesthetics, I don't hate it. It's just kind of like, compared to the Series X controller, obviously the Series X controller is literally just the Xbox One X, so the Xbox One, just with like a little bit extra nibs. It looks almost identical, so I can't really give many points for originality. Go on, Jack. Tell us your opinion.
I like it a lot. I think it looks very nice. It looks pretty comfortable. It's like quite a bit more Xboxy. It looks kind of like a crossover, which is quite weird. But I think it looks pretty comfy. It looks like a controller you'd see in Detroit Become Human. My main gripe with it is that I think the buttons should retain the classic branding colours. I think the X, circle, square and triangle should keep the blue, red, purple and green. I think that would look quite slick on the black and white. I've even seen mock-ups that look nice. There's a lot of cool custom fan art designs of controllers they could make, and I think they'd be very stupid not to go in that direction.
It would look
and bring out some fun colours.
So much better if it had the coloured buttons. So much better.
Yeah, I don't hate it for not though. I think it's kind of a weird decision not to.
Controllers just look better.
I guess they're just trying to keep it minimalistic, but yeah.
Controllers just look better when they've got coloured buttons. If you think of all the controllers, like the Xbox, PlayStation, GameCube controller, all the PlayStation, all the Xbox controllers, they all look really cool. And then I think you have the Wii, sorry, not the Wii, the Switch, the Switch Pro controller. There's nothing wrong with it. It's like well made. It's good materials. It feels good to hold, but it kind of looks boring. And I feel like all it needs is a little bit of like GameCube colouring, and it looks sick. Yeah. But it looks kind of generic as it is right now, and I think that's what I don't like about the DualSense.
I'm thinking of weird stuff as well. Like I know generally people aren't a fan of QuickTime events, but I'm just thinking, if I'm doing a QuickTime event in a game, I'm half associating the shape of the button I'm seeing, but also the colour. Like if I see that shade of purple, I think of the square button. Obviously that's not going to change because
that's a really good point.
I'm always going to have that ingrained into my brain, but I just feel like it takes that sort of thing away as well. And like my precious coasters. My coasters would be really boring if they were just black and white.
I reckon there's a chance.
Look at my light in the background.
I'd be very surprised if they ditched the coloured branding, because it's such a strong part of their brand, isn't it?
I think they'll keep it outside of that. Yeah, it is. It's like, I mean, I guess the PlayStation logo has always kind of been there, but I feel like the colours on the buttons are, if not even more prevalent than that.
So Jack, why is it called DualSense?
Because it understands what you're feeling while you play, and adapts the game to your emotions.
You have a really horrible, gory moment, and it just speaks. It's like Cappy, like two eyes come out, like, hey, you've been playing for a long time. Do you want to take a break?
That's so funny.
No, but really.
Why is it called DualSense? The pad does something. It senses things.
So it's called DualSense.
It has taste.
Because the DualShock introduced two motors that shocked and vibrated the user. This one has two haptic motors, which are similar to Nintendo Switch Joy-Con motors, and they give you the sensation of different surfaces on your hands, like how the Switch Pro controller has like different. It feels different depending on different things.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. Well, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
which is awesome because I think that's really cool. It also has the analog triggers on the back. They themselves have it's some sort of like I don't know how it works. It's some sort of
magic
spring that can get tighter depending on what you're doing. So basically, if you're pulling back
that's
bow,
pretty cool.
You have to like squeeze it quite hard down. But if you're like pressing a
I like
button,
that a lot.
It's really loose. That's pretty sick. I think
that's really cool stuff. I like that a lot. Yeah, it gives you good vibrations.
I think that sounds pretty cool. It also has a mic in it, which I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, how else are they gonna, contract all of your data?
You know what? I don't like it, and this is a comment I read on Reddit.
Go for it. You read it on Reddit.
You know when you go into a lobby, and you have like some kid screaming, or you have like inexplicably loud rap music or something playing from some.
Oh,
that's going to be everyone. It. If everyone has a mic, by default, that's everyone now.
Oh man, we're going to learn so much new exciting music. It's going to be great.
Anyway,
yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, I just don't play Call of Duty anymore.
I don't. I mean,
when was the last time you played a game that had matchmaking where there were kids screaming and rap music playing?
The only game that I've played recently that I can think of that is Gmod, and I'm asking for it with Gmod, so it's fine.
If you play Gmod,
I kind of want it. I secretly
horrendous, ear-bleedingly loud, just noises in the lobby.
No, I don't encounter it because it doesn't seem to be much of a problem on PC. But my brother, I've seen him go into Overwatch lobbies, and he's gonna be one of them screaming though. He's gonna get involved. He's gonna blare his music out. Oh, that'd be so annoying. I'll kill him if he does that.
It's gonna be great.
There is this one.
I can see the advantage of having a mic built in though. Game wise, I think it's a good thing overall.
In a perfect world, but I'm gonna throw out one more thing. If the mic's in the controller,
pessimist.
have they tested it like for your average like sweaty concentrating gamer? Like, are you not going to be able to hear the button mashes really loud on the controller if the mic is built into it? Is it not going to be like constant vibrations all the time?
That is something I didn't consider, and seems like surely that would be a massive issue.
Because clearly they're not going to just slap a mic in it and then be like, it just sound like some thunder every
Jamie,
time. They've obviously thought about it.
Are you looking at a picture of the DualSense right now?
No.
Right, envision it in your head. You can see the front of it. Spin it around. There's just a blue Yeti taped to the back. That's what they released.
The DualShock 4, order yours now for £299. This is state-of-the-art mic glued to the back.
The mic is worth 30 times more than the controller.
In all seriousness, though, the DualSense 5 is going to be a really expensive controller.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, they get more and more expensive as they go, don't they?
It's going to be really expensive.
Wow, what a hot take. Things get more expensive as they progress.
But that's not true, is it?
I mean, I guess not always, but it's always true of video game controllers.
Yeah, only controllers.
Joy-Cons cost like £70.
That's because that's a rip-off. That is not because they're worth £70.
That's because they're sold by Nintendo.
Yes. I'm gonna push the conversation on.
Do it.
So there hasn't actually been that much news until this morning. So there's a game that was stealthily announced. We'll get to that. But the more important thing that I want to talk about first is the announcement of the date that Minecraft RTX would be released in beta.
Oh yes, you're very excited for this.
So we won't talk about it for too long. It's not much to talk about, but only that I woke up.
It was worth a mention.
I woke up this morning very excited. Because I've been really desperate. Because there's like squat all ray tracing, and I've recently purchased a RTX card, not for ray tracing, but I was kind of like, ooh, I get to see what it's like now. And then,
but ray tracing was a big part of it.
I played Shadow of the Tomb Raider with ray tracing on, and it ran really well. But it runs really well because there's
no ray tracing.
There's like barely any ray tracing. Oh, I saw a great joke on the internet.
Wow, this runs so well. It's like there's no ray tracing.
So for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, they just do ray trace shadows, and I saw something on the internet, and it was a picture. It was ray tracing on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, ray tracing off of the Tomb Raider, because there's no shadows.
That's pretty funny, actually. I like that a lot.
So that actually tickled me quite a lot. Anyway, Minecraft RTX is it's our second game to date that has had full, proper, 100%. Bob is both your uncle and your aunt. Yeah. Ray tracing, everything's.
I always knew it'd be Minecraft.
Traced. The only other exception is Quake 2 RTX, which is the only other game which is fully. I believe it's called Path Trace. Had a really long conversation with a friend that we both share, who is very much into computers, specifically machine learning, that he did as a dissertation for his master's degree recently. And
okay, that's just so I know which friend it is. Yeah.
And he. I had a great conversation with him, and I still don't understand the difference between path tracing and ray tracing, because I think media outlets themselves don't understand it, and so you'll see things that say, "Oh, this is
gaming journalists
this is path
don't know most things,"
and then actually, I talked to our friend, and he said, "No, that's actually the incorrect terminology," but I'm going to just use the phrase full fat ray tracing. Anyway, I will be playing some of that tomorrow. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone will be very excited to see that soon.
It's going to be a real sweaty one though. That's not going to run well. Anyway, the only other piece of news, it was quite quiet. We are in lockdown. There was a stealth announcement of a game that's coming out in like a week. It's called. I'm gonna have to remind myself the name because I didn't write it down because it wasn't announced I think yesterday. And it's XCOM. It's XCOM Chimera Squad, and it's a spin-off XCOM game, it's a tenner, and it's like a full, it's like the XCOM 2 engine, like full good AAA looking game, but it's just like a short little episode, and it's just like a spin-off where you play as a team of alien human hybrids.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. Like,
I'm giving that a little Google right now.
£8.49. Like, cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. That is. It feels almost like a little like lockdown treat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, we can't do a lot because working from home, but here's a little bit. Here's a little thing.
It's really funny, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty cute stuff. I like that.
That's absolutely out of nowhere. That was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to check this out afterwards.
So,
it looks good.
Yeah. I'm now going to move on.
Sweet.
I'm going to move us on, I should say. I'm going to move us on to the next couple of segments of this podcast.
Yeah.
By the way, this is me trialing out this new push on the conversation to streamline the podcast.
This is our new professional format.
I might get the timings wrong. I might push on the conversation more than it needs to. So forgive me if this ends up being too long or too short. I'm sure you will.
I think it's good so far. Continue.
So I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about what have you been watching, and I want to talk about what you've been playing. And we're going to start off with Jack. What have you been watching?
I've been watching absolutely nothing. So that's not a good thing to start. I'm going to mention something a little bit different, Jamie, which I have already mentioned to you before. I'm going to mention a YouTube series.
That absolutely counts as watching.
Because I've been watching it. I know it's not film, TV, or gaming, but, you know, as professional YouTubers ourselves, I think we should address the fact that YouTube is
on par with the AAA film industry.
I mean, it honestly can be very phenomenal, the things people create, and I think it occasionally should be held to a similar standard. I've been watching the extremely popular John Krasinski from The Office has started his own news show called Some Good News, and every Monday he just kind of sits in his spare room and just like talks about good things that are happening in the world to counteract all the negativity that's going around. And it's so good. Like, out of all the movies and TV shows and stuff, that's probably my favourite recurring thing that I'm watching at the moment.
I've just searched it now. How humble.
Yeah, I mean, it's on trending constantly. Jamie will specifically be angry at it because he does a lot of quite impressive things. In the first episode, he got Steve Carell on for a little segment to celebrate 15 years since the US Office aired. In the second episode, he spoke to a young girl, 9 years old. She was supposed to go and see the show Hamilton in a theatre, but she couldn't because of coronavirus.
Hamilton, you say?
So through a Zoom face call, him and Emily Blunt were talking to her, which was nice because she had just watched Mary Poppins.
That's crazy.
Emily Blunt is his wife. Mary Poppins is his wife. So she features a lot. Okay. Yeah, great Hollywood couple. But then he also got the entire original Broadway cast of Hamilton to sing her the main song from the play from their homes. Literally about 50 people. Absolutely insane. Really impressive. So talented. The girl was obviously over the moon.
Wow.
And since then I've been obsessed with the musical and trying to get Jamie to listen to it, so he won't be happy about that part. But yeah, he did a cool thing for some nurses in the third episode where they got to go to a baseball stadium and the mayor of the town and stuff appeared on the big screen to thank him. It was cool. He does really impressive stuff, like from his home. But yeah, it's really good. And other than that, he's just kind of showing...
That's very wholesome.
He just shows clips that people have sent in. He talks about good things that are happening. There were doctors on there saying, like, it's really great to hear people talk about the good things that we're doing and not just all the depressing stuff. Because obviously there's a lot of people in the world doing really good things and pretty much getting no credit for it. Wow. It's cool. I'd recommend watching that.
I think I will. Could do
It's
some
really
wholesome
good.
content.
They're like 10-minute long. Yeah, they're good. I'd recommend it to everyone. To counteract that, I also watched Contagion the other day just because I hadn't seen that in a while, and that's shockingly accurate.
Really oh,
it's a really good
pick.
film. Very depressing nowadays, though, but it is good. I guess it's not too depressing. Our disease is far better than theirs.
It's a lesson, if anything, because clearly, if our disease was as bad as the one in that film, it would have gone the same way as the film. It would have been exact same as the film.
Definitely. Riots and stuff. I also think it's kind of not to, I don't know, maybe this is unnecessary, but I feel like it's also a lesson in how film can be more than just entertainment. That came out in 2011, I think. It functions perfectly as a warning piece. Yeah, obviously you can't just live your life around what films are warning. Otherwise, we'd be preparing for alien attacks more than we need to. Or maybe not. Maybe in next year we'll watch Independence Day.
No.
Like, wow, it was so accurate.
I feel like that's something that Trump would get in on. It's like, so tell us again why you're building this gigantic particle cannon that's pointing towards the moon.
Why did you fire Mike Pence and replace him with Will Smith? Yeah,
what an alternate reality.
Should I go on to what have I been playing before you go on to your bits?
No. We're going to go watching both of us, followed by playing both of us.
Sounds good. What have you been watching, Jamie?
So I've been watching a incredibly wide variety and high volume of different movies and films because I've had so much time.
Furlough gang.
So I'm clearly not going to talk about all of them. I will talk about a couple of specific ones like you have. But to summarise, I've basically made my way through all of the British dramas that I have missed over the last few years because they are all absolutely brilliant. I have thoroughly enjoyed all of them.
What is that, like Broadchurch, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I've seen Broadchurch and Killing Eve specifically, but shows like that, like I can't even remember. The reason why I haven't heard of any of the ones I've watched, they're all incredibly high quality BBC shows that I just kind of came out and went, didn't get any fanfare, but were
we have some great dramas.
Seriously good. That's what I've been doing. But to hone in on two. So I've been watching Better Call Saul.
Oh man, I still haven't.
I won't spoil it or anything, but the most recent season is a very interesting season. It's very much Better Call Saul. I don't want to spoil it, but it's
I'd prefer you didn't. You can go a bit into detail.
Don't worry, I'm going to choose my words very carefully.
Go for it.
It's very enjoyable. I say it's very enjoyable. That makes it seem like it's not as good as others. It's actually, it's continues to be world class story making. It's amazing.
A lot of people have told me it's better than Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Fair.
I have watched Breaking Bad three times, and I don't really have the urge to watch Better Call Saul from the beginning.
Yeah,
obviously it hasn't finished. The show hasn't finished yet, but I'm not. But which is weird because in many ways it's better than Breaking Bad. Like the characters, there's a lot of characters that are much better and more fleshed out, and the filming is better. There's a lot of things that are better. I don't know what it is. The second thing I'm going to talk about is I've been watching Inside Number 9.
Very, very good.
That's awesome. It was recommended to me by my dad ages ago.
I've seen quite a bit of that.
Yeah. So yeah, my dad recommended it to me ages ago, and it's like it's really good. It reminds me of. It's probably a better example.
Black Mirror.
But, I was just gonna say Black Mirror. Yeah, it's probably a better example, but because it's not like a dystopian technology gone wrong type thing, which is what Black Mirror is meant to be all about. But it is an anthology. They are usually depressing, and it's full of dark comedy.
People often say that Black Mirror is like the modern Twilight Zone, but I honestly think Inside Number 9 is more that.
It definitely is.
Yeah, Twilight Zone's a good comparison.
Okay. Yeah, that's
and
good
I haven't seen a lot of Inside Number 9, but what I have seen has all been very, very high quality.
I've watched about half of the episodes in the last 2 days.
Yeah, like Black Mirror definitely has some duds, especially in the later seasons. Although you can definitely say that about classic Twilight Zone. But yeah.
Sorry, Jack, can you repeat that? You went out then.
Oh no. I said Black Mirror has some duds, especially in the later season. And then I said you can definitely say that about the latest, or any Twilight Zone as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Did you hear me that time?
I heard most of that. It's a bit robotic, I won't lie to you.
Oh no, you're perfect quality for me. I'm basically saying Black Mirror, not all of it is great, but then you can also say that about Twilight Zone, so maybe it is a good comparison.
Black Mirror, I would say that every episode is good, except for the most recent season, in which it kind of, like, I would say dramatically dropped in quality for me.
Yeah, I think season, was it season 3? Season 3, I liked on the most part. I thought they were worse, but I still thought they were all great. Season 4, there were a couple that I thought weren't as good, but the latest season just didn't feel the same at all.
And obviously, Bandersnatch, I loved.
Bandersnatch was cool.
So now, I'm gonna save some of the shows I've been watching for next week, because I feel like if I just talk about every show I've been watching a lot, and I'm not going to talk about 10 different shows, because it really is about 10.
Can I quickly ask you if you've watched one drama and we don't even need to delve into it? Did you watch The Capture?
I can't.
I think it was also BBC drama.
I can't say I remember, because they have all blurred into one in my head, because they all have the same actors in as well. No, actually, no.
Cool. I'd recommend it. I liked it a lot. I like the ending. Every episode has a pretty mind-bending twist.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that's
it's all very realistic and scary and quite cool. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You'll like it. A lot of technology and stuff. It's cool.
Right.
Add it to the list. Add it to the pile.
It's in the pile. I've mainly just been going on Netflix, typing in British dramas, and then just going through that, because so many that I've never heard of, and they've all been great, all of them. So there you go. Yeah. So next, I want to talk about what you've been playing.
Games. I can think of one specific example, but I feel like I can think of another specific example which is more obvious. The first thing I'll say is Animal Crossing, which I won't go too deeply into because I feel like that's quite an obvious one. But yeah, I've just continually been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, logging in every single day for an hour.
Talk to me about Animal Crossing though. I want to know. I obviously know what Animal Crossing is.
You don't get the Animal Crossing experience, do you? So maybe I should try and convince you.
I do. I actually do get it. I want to like it, but in practice, it doesn't do it for me. Don't know why.
Yeah, that's fair. See, you get the appeal. It's just not for you, which is fair enough.
Tell me why New Horizons is better than... Is it called New Horizons? Yeah. Tell me why New Horizons is better than New Leaf.
Oh, man. I mean, it's been a long time since New Leaf. I feel like there's a lot better than New Leaf.
Because from my perspective, I mean, clearly there's crafting, and that's obviously like a huge, huge addition. So... There's that, but when it comes to the core Animal Crossing experience.
Core game mechanics.
Have they? I appreciate it. I'm overlooking a huge part of the game, but what else has changed other than the crafting?
Well, the main appeal of New Horizons is that you move to a desert island and it's literally empty, and you build the whole thing up from scratch, which is like a completely new experience. I mean, there's so many new things that are just kind of, I don't know, little things, but yeah, the whole game is pretty different. It's not just a matter of you move in and kind of try and build up this town. It's like you're trying to build the community from scratch, and people gradually move to your island and stuff, go to other islands, collect things. It's just all that sort of thing, really. But it's great fun.
'Cause I really gave New Leaf a go. I really did.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. And
I think you personally would prefer New Horizons to New Leaf, just because it's more kind of, I mean, not that it is survival based, but it feels more survival based because there's just that aspect of kind of collecting things and, you know, using them to craft other things.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it feels less easy than the other games in that sort of sense.
It's one I would pick up if it wasn't for...
I mean, it's...
Because at this point, I would be like, oh, I need a Switch game. Because I always want to have a Switch game in the background going on, because it's just so good to have that.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, it's a hefty price tag if it's not your thing.
Yeah, I think that's quite a turn-off for me.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
I don't think I would have thought twice if it was 30 quid. Like New Leaf was.
Yeah. No, that's completely fair. I mean, it's completely my thing. I absolutely love Animal Crossing anyway. But it's just great. You know, someone moved away from my island today because she wasn't happy, and I was like, you know what, you do it. But deep down, I'm pretty sad.
Wasn't she happy?
To the point, she just came up to me like, oh, I was thinking about moving away, and obviously I have the option to say no, stay, and she will. But I was thinking, you know what, she's made her own choice if she's not happy here. And then later in the day, I was thinking, you know what, that had an emotional impact on me, because now I'm going to tell my mum about it. That's the sort of experience you get of Animal Crossing.
Oh, man. That is...
And there's this one villager who lives there.
What have
and
you
he's
become?
Like, they have, like, different personality types. There's, like, sporty, stylish, cute, nerdy, blah, blah, blah. This one guy called Teddy is supposed to be sporty. He does not leave his house, and it makes me angry. He's just really unsociable. And I want him to leave. But Rosie left. I'm sad about
Rosie?
it.
What animal is Rosie?
Rosie's a cat.
Nice. You shouldn't have got rid of Rosie.
She's like one of the OGs,
Rosie.
Okay,
right.
It's just sad times. No, it's just cool. You know, you meet different villagers move in. It's long as well, which is the point. You're supposed to take your time with it. But like, I want to build a bridge in my town. So I've put down the foundations, and now I need to spend 100,000 bells to build that bridge. That's going to take me like 6 days. It's like 6 days for me at least, because I don't play for hours and hours a day, and I can't build anything else. I can't build any other stairs or bridges until that's done. So it's like, goddamn.
Wow.
And then I'm also paying off my mortgage, which is like 400,000 bells. Which I don't really need to do because my house is pretty big at this point.
You have a mortgage? What do you to gain from paying off the mortgage at Animal Crossing?
When you pay off the mortgage, the house gets bigger.
So it's a house rather than a plot of land?
No, yeah, you have a house, and then the whole island is, you can do whatever you want with the whole island. Yeah, but you have your own house. And also, like, when I first started, I didn't really know the extent of what I could do, so I just kind of plot buildings down wherever. Yeah, the museum goes there, this guy lives there. But now it's like, oh, I have to spend like hundreds of thousands of bells to move these buildings around. And now I want like this to be this district, this to be this district, but there's so many buildings in the wrong place.
That is a pain in the ass.
It's fine. I'm just going to keep
like a day
collecting bugs and
to
fish.
Move things as well, like in real time?
Yeah, you have to like wait overnight. Yeah.
I really get the appeal. I think.
Yeah. There's just a great sense of community with it as well, because everyone's kind of doing the same thing at the same time. Obviously, people are advancing quicker than others.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it a lot. And there's like a stock market, which has its own, like, it's called the stalk market. So you buy turnips on Sunday morning, and then you try and sell them for a higher price throughout the week. Yeah, it was.
I remember that. Yeah,
but there's I found like just so many online communities dedicated to it, like trading turnips for different prices, and it's so great. It looks the same as Wall Street Bets. It's so funny.
Brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
I like that.
Can I quick?
Oh, everything about this game I've tried Animal Crossing, I've tried Stardew Valley, and I gave up with both of them. I tried.
Yeah, they're very, very similar actually. Stardew Valley, I find hard in Animal Crossing because for me it's too fast.
Too fast. Yeah, I suppose it is.
Like the days progress really quick. I've got to manage my time so carefully. I do love Stardew Valley, but you know,
I did feel a little bit stressed out more than I should have done with Stardew Valley.
Yeah, that's it. I feel like I've got to really get stuff done. But whereas if I'm playing Animal Crossing, it's just really relaxing.
Yeah, because with Stardew Valley, you've got crops that can die if you don't do it properly. So it's kind of like you actually do have to really pay attention to time. Yeah, that's not as relaxing.
I mean, in Animal Crossing earlier, there's a shop and it updates daily, and they were selling an exclusive Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch for 4,000 bells.
Right.
No, it was for 4,000 bells. No, it wasn't. Sorry, I'm completely lying. It was 40,000 bells, and I brought it. And then afterwards, I thought, why did I do that? That's like at least 2 days worth of collecting money.
Oh, that's so expensive
for me. And I brought a Switch in the game that doesn't do anything. But I just want to like invite my friends and be like, look what I brought. It's really exclusive. Like if you buy a normal Switch in the game, it's like 1,000 bells. This one costs like 40. I think the thing was it costs the same in bells as it does in Japan in their currency.
That's really funny.
That was like the gimmick, but it doesn't do anything. You just turn it on and then it like flashes up.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's stupid, but I love it. Can I quickly talk about the second game? Because I didn't want to spend that much time on Animal Crossing. The second game I've been playing a lot of, that you've also been playing a lot of, is Minecraft.
Yes, of course.
Although we haven't been on it in a while.
Yeah.
I think I am going to dedicate an entire video to this, so I won't mention it too long. But I think it was you who had the idea to start our own Minecraft server among our friendship group in real life. In real life, as if we have a fake life friendship group.
Well, you do on Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it's mainly my real friends and in the villagers. But yeah, so we started a Minecraft server. We used one of the realms that I used for the Minecraft server that me and Jamie played on camera. And it is so much fun. We've got like more than 20 people in it now. We've got a Discord chat. There's always at least one person in it. Like, it's so heavily used. It's great. And it's so fun. Everyone's building loads of cool bits. Everyone's going on little adventures together. It really does feel like our own little life outside of real life.
It does.
And it's such a good way to socialise. It really is a godsend. It's been great. And like the other day, because there's so many people in it at this point, I think you can only have like 10 or 11 in at a time. But we're always pretty lucky there. But like I was wandering out really far, and I found this amazing house with a piston entrance, and I don't even know whose it is because there's so many people. But it's really fun.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
It's really cool.
This has like been the perfect way of socializing.
I mean, there's been people in there that we haven't really spoken to much in a long time since uni. People always lose touch. I think we've got quite a good tight knit friendship group anyway.
Yeah.
But it's been really good, and we've got like boyfriends and girlfriends and siblings and stuff in it now. It's really fun. There's some people who never play Minecraft or video games who occasionally pop in. It's really cool.
Yeah, there's some people who are enjoying it who I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as they are. It's really cool.
And people who are really good at the game who I didn't think would be.
I know.
But yeah, if you have the money or the means or the friends, I would highly recommend starting a Minecraft server with your friends.
Quite honestly,
and inviting them to join.
A Realms server for a month is what, £8?
Something like that. You get free worlds.
It's like you get
cycle between.
You spend £8. Just do it for a month. Like you don't even have to commit to. It's not like, oh no, that's £8 a month for the rest of my life. Just think of that as like a month of some of the best video game fun you're gonna have ever.
Yeah,
honestly, it's that good. I really do strongly believe.
It's been great.
This is the most community I've had ever in any game. Like 20 really people adding to a single server is unprecedented. I've never been involved in anything like that before.
That's so fun. And I mean, we've got at least a month left of quarantine, at least here where we are. So I think it would definitely be worth it. Yeah, it sounds dumb, like it sounds obvious in a way, like just play Minecraft. But honestly, it's so fun. I wouldn't have thought to actually do it. It's really good.
Yeah.
And we've got some cool stuff. Yeah, I think I'll do a little server tour video soon.
I really think that should be done. I think that'd be really fun to do that. Because it is. I think everything has like a bit of a history to it now. Because we've been doing it for like a good few weeks.
We're doing it like a month.
Some things where it's like,
maybe 3 weeks.
It's that thing that we made at the beginning.
I remember that. It hasn't even been that long.
That's been completely. It feels like a while.
It feels like a long time. I genuinely really want to convince people to do it because it's so fun. Yeah, I want to talk people around.
Recommend it more.
That was my bit anyway. What have you been playing, Jamie?
So, I have been playing Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, there it is.
A lot.
Furlough gang.
A lot.
A lot. How's it going?
My goodness. So this is a game that has been recommended by a lot of YouTubers and stuff. I don't know anyone else who plays it in real life.
Yeah.
A lot of YouTubers and people who like the game, who I've seen on online, rave about this game, and I looked at it and thought, undoubtedly looks pretty. It's an MMO. It's pretty cool, and like the reviews for their recent expansions are incredible. Like their most recent expansion is apparently, because obviously I haven't reached that yet. Apparently it's just insane. So like, okay, this is pretty good, but it's really, really daunting because we're talking hundreds of hours to get to that expansion. Hundreds. Which is absolutely, that is not feasible if you are not in isolation. Frankly, if you've played, because Final Fantasy 14 is, I think, 7 or 8 years old now. I think it's 7 years old, and
I think it's 6.
Oh, I think it's 7.
No, it is 7. Sorry, I'm reading a year-old article. I just scrolled up. 7.
So, it's, if you play from the beginning, you're playing a game if you enjoyed it, if you've been playing it for 7 years, then clearly, for you, it's kind of just like this sick experience that you've had for 7 years. If you're kind of jumping in now, unless you have got a load of time that you're willing to sink into it, it's very hard to recommend. But I did make the jump. I did decide to go into it. I will inform you that I've reached the level cap of the main game, and so I've now purchased the expansions. That will give you some sort of indicator as to how much I've played it.
You've been having a right old go, haven't you?
And it's unbelievably good. Like, apparently the main quest is the worst part of the game, which is another reason why it's difficult to recommend, because you basically you have to tell people you're going to have to put in like 100 hours and then you get to the good stuff. Most people are going to say that sounds really bad, and for me,
it's a lot of time to dedicate.
So I've played it for like 70 hours, and I haven't really enjoyed it. So that doesn't ring true for everyone. For me personally, although there's absolutely been mundane parts, the world, the combat, everything about it is addictive as hell. There's so many classes, there's so many different jobs. Can I just quickly run you through their market system?
Yeah, do it.
There's a free market where you put items up for whatever price you want, and people can buy them. So you have to like look at what's being sold on your market, and different servers will have different like markets. Each server will have their own different economy, and it will be different because there's different people selling different things. Which is really interesting in itself. But you have, obviously the game is combat focused clearly, but you have three brackets of classes that you can be. There's combat, crafters, and gatherers. So if you're a gatherer, there are 3 gathering jobs. There's a herbalist. I'm not exactly sure of the exact name of it. There's a herbalist. You collect. This sounds awful. You collect herbs, right? You go out in the wild, but
you're vegetarian.
But you're vegetarian. But we're talking like proper, fully fledged. Like this is not a half-assed thing. This is, you have your own unique gear. You have like 50 different skills that you can unlock as you level up to help you with your gathering. There's like a whole meta game to gathering, and then it's huge. There's a mining class, which is apparently quite similar to the herbalist class, but obviously with ore. There's a fishing class, which is completely different, which again just unravels as you play it. I mean, I've gone really far with fishing. I was so addicted to it.
I'd love it if it's like hyper realistic. You just sit there for hours and get like 1 cod.
Yeah, can you imagine it? Well, okay, so the fishing, here's an example of it being hyper realistic. There is one boat that will go out every 2 real world hours, and it will allow 24 people maximum on the boat to go out.
There's people just fighting for their lives
seriously.
On the boat.
So you go out ocean fishing. So I found that if you manage to catch the 7 a.m. slot, it's basically empty and you're guaranteed to get on. But you have to keep an eye on the timetable, because if later on in the day, if you're going for like an afternoon slot, you need to make sure that you're there on 15 minutes before, so that you can get your slot in.
God, it's like coronavirus shopping.
So you have the gatherers, and you have the crafters who use the items that are made from the gatherers to create things.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to list off the crafters. There's like 10 different ones.
Oh,
like
man.
leather maker, goldsmith, blacksmith. Ridiculous. And then the crafters then sell what they make to the combat classes. And so what you have is this proper economy where if there are inherently loads of miners on your server, you're not going to be able to make much money as a miner. But if there's loads of fishermen instead, then you're going to make a lot more money as a miner. And obviously, if you're a miner, so if you're not a miner and you look at the market list and you go, oh my god, these guys are making so much money, it then balances out, and it's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool and intricate.
Oh, man, honestly, I'm not going to talk any more about it, but
no, it sounds cool. I love stuff like that. I love MMO economies. I find so fascinating.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, I remember reading a thing before about the World of Warcraft economy and how it's like so unbelievably advanced. Like, it's better than most real world economies because of the way it functions. Also, quite an interesting thing someone at work told me earlier. the Venezuelan currency at the moment is so poor that people have been playing RuneScape and World of Warcraft and like selling gold pieces in game because they manage to earn more than they do in real life working a job.
That is.
I think the average someone gets from working a minimum wage job in Venezuela is like $7.50 or whatever the currency is. And playing RuneScape, it's like $40.
That is ridiculous. I can't believe it.
Venezuelan Bolivar, is that what it's pronounced?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think MMO is very fascinating in a lot of ways like that, and this does not sound like an exception.
Yeah.
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 Very interesting.
So
that has piqued my interest. I haven't played an MMO in absolutely years.
Jack,
I just don't know if I'd have the time.
I cannot recommend Final Fantasy enough, and I also cannot recommend it. It is. It really is good, and I do think that it's worth buying as well if you look ahead at what games you might want to buy in the future, and if there's like if you're looking at and you're thinking, oh, it's like 2 months or something of no games that I want, then you might be like, well, why not? I'm just going to get Final Fantasy. You know. It's not like you have to finish it or anything. You just play it and enjoy it.
No, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You've had a pleasant time.
Also, I could then join your server, right?
Yeah. So
and ruin your experience.
No, the game. A lot of it's kind of single player orientated, funny enough. But there's like. Obviously, there's like raids. They're not actually called the end game stuff's called raids, but they have things that are like raids, and I can't remember what they're called. But they're basically dungeons, and you do those with co-op. And there is.
I quite like that though. I like being able to do my own thing as well.
Same. There's a huge emphasis on working together. Like I'm playing as a bard, and they're all about buffs and stuff. But the majority of the co-op stuff is the end game. I say the end game. There's like 4 end games because obviously they introduced end games at every expansion.
The end games have their own end games.
A very important thing to note is that it's a good time to jump in still because they're not done making expansions. There's at least one more expansion coming in 2021.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like you don't want to get in when it's no longer relevant.
No one wants to get into an MMO, but apparently they've just been getting more and more players as time's gone on because each expansion's just gotten better and better. The last one is just like amazing, absolutely amazing. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll probably be talking about that next year when I've actually got to it.
That is cool. I mean, I might look into it. You know,
you should. There is a subscription fee, but it's at the moment I keep getting 3 days added onto my account. It's like I got to level 50 or no, level 30 even, and it was like, I'll have 15 free days. Like, okay, cool.
That's not too shabby.
And it keeps adding 3 days. I keep getting like the occasional 1 or 2 free days added on. So it's going to be a long time before I have to pay. I think it's like £7 or something. It's not that much or anything.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it looks pretty solid. I mean, going on the website, it does hype you up.
Beehives. It is good.
Start a series.
So I'm not gonna. That's my game. I've been playing. In truth, I've been playing loads of different games, but I'm not going to be talking about all of them because we'll be here for a long time.
We ain't got time.
Jack,
for that.
what do you think? This is our final. Can I ask you a question actually? How tired are you? Do you want to go to bed soon?
Relatively soon.
Okay. Then we'll round it off.
Within the next 15 minutes, I'll say.
Okay, we'll round it off with a quick little topic, very quickly.
Sounds
okay.
Good. Oh, give me a second. Come in. Yeah, it's cool. My mum was just saying no.
Yeah.
Yeah, round it
just
off.
want to round it off. Well, this is a bad thing to round it off. So I think we'll probably what I'm going to say. We'll talk about this next week. I reckon it is quite late now.
Okay.
But
a sneak peek.
The way I want to end these podcasts going forward is a hot topic, and this hot topic, I always wanted to talk about the next gen consoles and what we think about how they're shaping up, because
how they're shaping
quite a lot
up
now that we can talk about.
Quite literally,
as of the last month, there's been quite a lot of information about them.
Yeah, I mean, on the topic of shape, I'm very excited for the Xbox Series X. It is the longest console we've ever seen.
Yeah,
I really want the PS5 to look ridiculous.
You know what? Same. I want it to be like the controller. I want it to be like really white.
I want it to be like a really inconvenient shape that doesn't stand upright. Like it's like a reverse pyramid that topples over.
Did you see the dev kit?
No.
The dev kit is a V shape. Like 5, the Roman numeral.
What could this mean?
Oh yeah. Look at it. Look how awful the dev kit is. Imagine that.
No, that looks really, really dated. Considering how slick the controller looks, in my opinion, that looks really weird.
I mean, dev kits always look weird. In fairness, that's not.
Yeah, I do remember that, because I remember loads of people like, oh my god, this is what the system's going to look like, and they were like, no, it's not. Don't worry.
But it is really funny because it looks properly bad, and it's huge.
It is funny. It looks really weird.
But they're always like that. That's not indicative. I will say though that why make a dev kit that
Gross.
looks like that? Why doesn't it make it a box?
It's weird. Someone's done a mock-up of a PS5 here, and it looks really cool. It looks like the controller, and it's also kind of got the V of the dev kit, but in kind of a cool way. It's like the box is white, but there's like a little kind of black triangle.
Something tells me that the V will be incorporated somehow. I think the PlayStation 4 looks so nice. It's going to be...
I'm going to send this over to you because it looks quite nice. It's what I could see it being. It's got white with the black trimmings, a little bit of blue in there as well, like the controllers.
Since the Xbox Series X looks really sexy, I would be really surprised if they had this horrible looking thing.
The Xbox Series X is a Necron monolith from Warhammer 40k. I've said this to you before. I want the PS5 to just be like meters and meters of tubing, and inside the tubing is the components. And like one end of the tubing you've got the plug, and the other end you've got the HDMI.
Well, you know when they in like biology lessons where they say like the an intestine can be stretched out and to be the size of a football pitch. It's like that.
Long.
It's like the size of a football pitch, just incredibly thin. And when
Sony was like, if they can fit this in a human, we can fit it in a PS5.
When they reveal it, on whatever way they do that, which I'm assuming is going to be some sort of stream, very, very soon. When are they going to reveal it? They must reveal it soon.
It's got to be coming up. I'm wondering if they're waiting for like quarantine to end. I don't know.
I think they're waiting. Honestly, I think they're waiting for the Xbox to talk about their games, and then they're going to come in. Oh, smash their mic then.
Yeah, that was a bit horrible.
And they're going to come in and go, we've got all this.
I mean, yeah. In my opinion, I think a lot of people share this opinion. PlayStation are always going to be able to knock Xbox out of the water with their exclusives, and I think you're probably right there.
I think I've lost my train of thought. I won't lie to you.
Just saying about when they're going to announce
I
it.
just think that I want to see games. I really badly want to see the games. I want to see their presentations. Definitely. I'm gutted that E3 is cancelled because I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And so I really, really, really want to see. I want a presentation. I don't want like, oh, here's a picture of the controller. on Twitter. I want to have like a proper presentation. They're really fun.
Yeah, it is upsetting. It's like the old video games, the old game awards, the old gaming BAFTAs. That's what I'm trying to say. I still watched it. We could talk about that next week. That was a lot of fun.
I feel like the video game awards kind of overshadows it.
Yeah, they were very old news now as well.
What?
But that's us.
Yeah, it's very old news. That's very dated news, actually. I think it was dated about 10 minutes after they talked about it, you know.
Yeah, let's probably never mention
Let's talk about what the PlayStation 5 looks like when it's revealed next week.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
Okay,
folks.
so thank you very much, listeners, for tuning in to our juicy new Sandbox format. We
hope you enjoyed this more professional approach.
I would like to say... I don't know what I would like to say, actually. Jack, give us a round off.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully you don't mind us making do with this new technological advanced way of producing content in this day and age. I think it's an absolute testament to the amazing things people can do from their homes. Some people are out saving the world, and we're here filming Sandbox. And stay safe, everyone, and we hope you enjoyed this.